It's time for Fast Fun Friday. Come on, let's play. Fast Fun Friday. This is a new Friday series that I will be doing every Friday to just show you a new to me anyway, maybe a background or a technique or something that I can show you fairly quickly that you might want to put in your mixed media arsenal. So I'm taking a class from Toni Burt, and the class is called Tone and Texture, and she takes fabric, she uses muslin, and adheres two pieces together to begin to create a substrate. But I just had this kitchen towel, it's like a feed sack material, and I thought I will just put that onto a plain old piece of cardboard and use that as my substrate. So I'm just going to put it down. I have this fairly cheap gesso, and I'm just going to adhere it with gesso. This is a great alternative if you don't have a canvas or you're just looking to do something outside of your journal pages, maybe to just have fun and experiment and play. So I'm just putting down a medium layer of gesso on the cardboard. I just did my nails. I'm going to really try hard not to get everything all over them, but you know how that goes. Oh, so as I just said, and so I painted my thumb, okay. And then I'm just going to start at the top here. I like just a little bit of the fabric hanging over the edge. I did one like this yesterday following Toni's class tutorial. I used a regular artboard as opposed to a piece of cardboard, but I have so much cardboard just stockpiled around here that I like to just play on to experiment and try different things. And I'm just going to put a layer of gesso on top of this, just to kind of, I'm not worried about super duper great coverage because I'm going to put a lot of other things on top of this that will make sure that the fabric is adhered to the cardboard. I'm just going to pay attention to the edges here so the edges don't start coming up. And I like the raggedy edges, so I'm all good with that. We don't need all the strings that are falling off, but the frayed edges from where I tore the kitchen towel, I like that. And as we go, those edges will get paint on them and gesso and matte medium, and they'll get crunchy and fun and actually become part of the piece. So Toni's class is a lot of fun, and it's, if you're familiar with Toni Burt, you know the awesome girls that she does, and so it is her girls but on this type of fabric background. And then she uses joint compound to add texture. And I was looking on Amazon. I don't have joint compound laying around, and I was just looking on Amazon to see, and so much of it like only comes in gallon buckets. Well, I probably wouldn't use a gallon of joint compound in this lifetime, so I thought, well, what else can I use? And my texture paste is almost gone, so I thought, well, I know there's a lot of videos and recipes out there for homemade texture paste, so I thought, well, let me just make some and see how that works. And that's what I did on my project yesterday from the class. And I basically use this gesso because it's so thick. I generally, for my art, I like my Liquitex gesso, which is much thinner than this tub of gesso is. So I just took about 6 or 8 teaspoons of this gesso and put it in a separate container. I'm trying to get the stuff off my hands before I can't. I'm going to show it to you. So I put about 6 or 8 teaspoons of this tub gesso in a container. I didn't measure anything other than I just know I used a teaspoon to scoop it out and put it in here. And I would probably still like this to be a little thicker than it is. It's about the consistency of thick frosting. It's still, if I shake my palette knife, it will still come off my knife. So, but then I added almost a whole bottle of just regular acrylic craft paint because I didn't want the background to be white like this. I wanted it to have that buff color. So I think I added, well, I'll tell you what I added. I added Americana French Vanilla, almost a whole bottle, to get it to this color because I had a lot of gesso. If you mixed up a smaller batch, obviously you would need less. And then I used just regular baby powder and just dumped it and mixed it and mixed it and mixed it, and then dumped some more and mixed it and mixed it and mixed it until the powder was totally incorporated. But like I say, I will probably add more powder to this, or I have some calcium carbonate which I use to make chalk paint. So I might just add some of that. I'm not going to do it today, but I'm just going to show you what I did on my piece yesterday. I'm going to hit this with the dryer for just a minute. And then we're going to put some texture paste on this. Okay, I don't think it has to be totally and completely dry. The edges definitely aren't because I just picked it up by the edge and got it all over my fingernails again. Alright. So with the joint compound, Toni puts that on with like a wide blade palette knife. But since this is thinner, I'm just going to put it on with the same brush that I put the gesso on the fabric with. And I don't want it all over, but I am going to put it in all the corners because it really helps the fabric stick to the substrate. And I'm just going to tap into it and let some texture happen. And then in the center, I'm just going to put a thinner layer because later on, when this dries, I'm going to paint a girl there. Toni's class, the tone and texture class, she has 3 separate lessons with 3 different girls' faces and collage, but done on this background technique. So I will link her YouTube channel if you're not familiar with her. I just love her style, but I will link her YouTube channel in the description box. You can go to her channel, and then I'm sure she has a link there to her website where you can see all the, she has quite a few different classes available, and they're really reasonably priced. And she's an excellent teacher, just very easy to learn from. She explains things really, really thoroughly and well, and gives you examples and alternatives, and I'm really enjoying the class. So, but basically that's it. Now this does dry pretty fast. Yesterday, after I prepared my art board with this technique, I used my heat gun just a bit, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, to get it started, and then set it to the side while I went off to find collage papers and whatever else other supplies that I needed to finish that class. And it dried, I want to say, within a half an hour to an hour. It's just going to depend on how thick you put it on or how thick your paste is. But, you know, when you run out of art supplies, sometimes you can make your own with things that you already have, that you aren't out of. So, I just wanted to come on and show you briefly, and I will show you the finished piece I did yesterday so you can see the fabric around the edges. And it just has, and this is cheesecloth that I added, and this is on a artist painting board. But it's just a great background. Now when that texture paste is dry, then you'll put on your collage papers and embed some. Now would be the time to embed the cheesecloth so it sticks into that texture paste or joint compound. Then add your collage papers or whatever you want for in your background, and you just layer it up and then do the face on the top. This is more paper around here, so this is part of Toni's class. So I will let you head on over there and take a look at all the classes that she offers, but I found this one really interesting and fun, and I can't wait for this to dry so that I can do another face on here. So I hope you enjoyed the first Fast Fun Friday technique. Give it a try. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, share that video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. All of those things really help tremendously. I need to grow, and the growth is slow, so anything that you wish to do to help me along, I'd really be grateful. And in the meantime, go make some art. Bye.